There's a really interesting puzzle at the heart of AI today. On one hand, it feels like it's becoming this tool that's just available to everyone. But on the other hand, the actual power to create it seems to be consolidating in the hands of just a few. So let's kind of unpack that contradiction.
We hear this phrase all the time, right? The democratization of AI. But what does that really mean? Is AI truly for everyone in the way we might think it is?
And I mean, at first glance, the answer seems to be a pretty clear yes. AI services are just weaving themselves into our daily lives, whether you're an individual or a huge company. The barrier to use these things feels incredibly low.
But here's where we hit the structural reality. There's a huge difference emerging between using AI and building AI. Just because anyone can use it, that doesn't mean anyone can build it. And that gap, that's where the real tension is.
To really get what's happening, it helps to see AI as something more than just software. Think of it as a capital circuit. It's an economic engine where you need massive amounts of capital just to create the computational power, which then goes on to generate, well, even more capital.
So here's what that self-perpetuating loop looks like. It all starts with a huge investment of capital. That capital buys you the compute power, all the data centers and GPUs. That compute lets you build powerful capabilities, like large-scale models, which then lets you dominate the market. And that market dominance, it just generates more capital. The whole cycle just feeds itself, making it harder and harder for anyone new to break in.
So what's the big implication of all this? As this new structure really takes hold, the very nature of competition seems to be shifting. Success might not be about your individual ability or your clever idea anymore. Instead, it might just come down to your access to the capital and infrastructure that are controlled by a very small number of players.
And that brings us right back to where we started, but now with a much sharper question. We love to talk about how open AI is, but this structure really suggests there are two different layers. The top layer, the one for using AI, that might be opening up for all of us. But the foundational layer, the one for building AI, that seems to be closing off, which makes you wonder, which layer are you and I really operating in?